Inferno. The divine comedy Inferno, Cancer 1, the dark force, the hill of difficulty, the pamphlet, the line, and the wall. Inferno. Midway upon the journey of our life, I found myself within a dark forest where the straightforward pathway had been lost. Me. How hard a thing it is to say. What was this forest savage, rough, and stern, which in the very thought renews the fear? So bitter is it, death is little more, but of the good to treat which there I found. Speak will I of the other things I saw there. I cannot though repeat how there I answered so all as I had slumbered at the moments in which I had abandoned the freeway. But after I had reached the mountain skirts and at points where the valley terminated, which had with consternation pierced my heart, upward I looked and I beheld its shoulders, vested already with the planet's rays which leaded others where I saw every road. There was a fear a little quieted that in my heart's lake had endured throughout the night, which I had passed so piteously. And even as he who with disgraceful breath forth issued from the sea upon the shore turns to the water careless and dangerous. So did my soul, that still was fleeing onward, turn itself back to re-behold the past, which never yet a living person left. After my weary body I had rested, the way resumed, I on the desert slope, so that the firm foot ever was the lower. And lo, almost there that sense began, the panther lies in a swift exceedingly, which with the soft skin was covered with hair. And never moved she from before my face, nay, rapidly and so much my way that many times I to return that turn. Times beginning of the morning, I like the sun was dancing with those stars, and nothing more, with time below divine. I first noticed that those beauteous things, so were near figure of hope, the variegated skin of that wild beast, the hour of time, the delicious season, but not so much that did not give me fear, all longing's aspect which appeared to me. He seemed as if against me if he were coming with head lifted and ravenous hunger, so that it seemed that air was afraid of him, and a she-wolf, that with all hungerings it seemed to be laden in from eagerness, and many folk, all has caused to live forlorn. She brought upon me so much heaviness with the upright that from her aspect came, that I, the hope relinquished of the height. And as he is who willingly acquires, and the time comes that causes him to lose, who weeps in all his thoughts and is disarmed. And such made me that the peace, the hot peace, which coming on against me by degrees, thrust me back thither where the sun is silent. While I was rushing downward to the low land before mine eyes, did one present himself, who seemed from long to me silence and force. When I beheld him in the desert vast, have pity on me, unto him I cried, which here thou art, or shade, or real man? He answered me, not man, than once I was, and both my parents were of Lombardy, and Moutons, our country both of them. Sub Julia was I born, and though it was late, and lived at Rome, under the god good Augustus. During the time of also mine naughts, a poet was I, and I sang as just the son of Anchises, who came forth from Troy, after that William the superb was turned. But thou, why goest thou back to such annoyance? Why plainest thou not pronounced delectable, which is the source and cause of every joy? Now art thou that Virgilius, and that fountain which spreads abroad, so wide we receipt. I do response to him with bashful forehead. Oh, of the other poets honor than mine, to avail me the long study and great love that hath impelled me to explore thy volume. Thou art my master and my author. Thou art alone the one from whom I took the beautiful style that has done honor to me. Behold the leaves for which I have turned back, do not protect me from her famous stage, for she doth make my veins and pulses tremble. If he be hopes to take another road, responded he when he beheld me weeping. If from established place thou lose escape, because this beast established thou Christ now, suffered not anyone to pass away, but so he thought to harass him, that he destroys him, and has a nature so malign and ruthless that never doth she water free will, and after food is hungrier than before. Many animals with whom she weds, and more they shall be still, until the great hand comes, who shall make her perish in her pain. He shall not feed on either earth or health, but upon wisdom and on love and virtue. Which Feltro and Feltro shall his nation be. Of that low Italy shall he be the savior, on whose account can make familia die. Here Elas, Turnus, Nissus, of their wounds. Through every state shall he hunt her down, until he shall have given her back to hell. There from whence and first did let her loose. Therefore I think, and thus did not, for thy best, thou follow me, and I will be thy guide, and lead thee hence through the eternal place. Where thou shalt hear this for lamentations, shalt see ancient spirits, who cry out each one for their second death, and thou shalt see those who contented are within the fire, because they overcome where it may be so few less people. To whom then, if thou wishest to ascend, a soul shall be for that, and I more worthy. But for my departure I will leave thee, because that ever remains above, and that I was rebellious to his law. The wills that through me none come into the city. He governs everywhere, and there he reigns. There is the city and his lofty throne. Oh, happy he whom thereto he elects. And I said him, poet, I thee entreat, by that same God, whom thou didst never know, so that I may escape the spoil and worse. Thou wouldst conduct me therewith where thou hast said, that I may see for all St. Peter, and those thou makest the so consolate. Then he moved on, and I heard him following. Answer to the descent, Dante's protest, and Virgil's appeal, intercession of the three ladies, the Benedicts. Day was departing in a brown air, release the animals that are on earth from their fatigues, and I, the only one, made myself ready to sustain the war, both of the way and likewise of the woe, with memory that there is not shall retrace. O muses, so thy genius now assist me. O memory, that didst write down what I say, here thy nobility shall be manifest. And I began, poet who guides me, regard my handhood if it be sufficient, ere to our doors pass, thou dost confide me. Thou sayest that Basilius the parent, while yet not born to the world, immortal went, and was there oddly. But if the adversary of all evil was courteous, Then came the high effect of that issue would from him, and who and what. To men of intellect on these it seems not, for he was of great Rome, and her empire, and the imperial heaven, as father chosen. The which and what, wishing to speak the truth, were established as the holy place wherein sits the successor of the greatest speakers. Upon this journey, whence thou givest the laws, things that be here, in which the occasion will go of his victory and papal mantle, thither went after the chosen vessel to bring back comfort thence unto the faith, which of the salvation's way is the beginning. But I why thither come or who conceived it, I not Aeneas, and I not Paul. Now nor I nor others think me worthy of it. Therefore, if I resign myself to come, I fear the coming may be ill-advised. Thou art wise, and knowest better than I speak. And as he is, who unwills what he buildeth, and by new thoughts doth his intention change, so that from his design be quite the false. So that he came upon that dark side, because he thinking I consumed that emprise, which was so very prompt in the beginning. If I had well thy language understood, or why that shade of the magnanimous, thy soul attained is with cowardice, which many times a man encumbers, so it turns him back from honor and enterprise, as false society not of these would be a shy. But thou mayest free thee from this apprehension. I'll tell thee why I came, and what I heard at the first moment, when I grieved for thee. Among those was I, in suspense, and fair smoky lady told to me the wise I suffered to command me. Her eyes were shining brighter than the star, and she began to say with gentle and low, with the voice angelical in her own language. O spirit cohesive, and two, of whom the flame still in the world endures, and shall endure one lasting as the world, a friend of mine and not a friend of fortune, upon the desert slope so impeded, upon his way that he was turned through in terror, and may I fear already be so lost, that I too late have risen to the succor, from that which I have heard of him in heaven. He served me now, and with my speech ornate, and with what needful is before his release assistance, so that I may be consoled. Beatrice am I, who did bid thee go, I come from there, where I would fain return love with thee, which compelleth me to speak, when I shall be in the presence of my Lord, fall often, and will I praise thee unto him. Then paused she, and thereafter I began, O Lady of Virtue, thou alone through whom the grace is seated, all contained within the head and endless of lesser circles, so grateful unto me is thy commandment to obey, swear already done, nor life no farther needs thou to me thy wish. But the cause tell me why thou dost not shun, for the fear descending down into the center, from the vast place thou earnestly returns thee, since thou wouldst fain so inwardly discern, briefly will I relate, if he answered me why I am not afraid to answer here. Of those things only one be afraid, which had the power of doing others harm, otherwise know because they are not fearful. God in his mercy so treated me, that misery of woes attends me not, nor any flame assails me, that discerning a gentle lady is in heaven who reads Atlas and heavens, to which I send thee, so that the stern judgment there above is broken in her, entreaty she besought Lucia, and said, I therefore one now stands in need of thee, and unto thee I recommend him. Lucia, though of all that is cruel, is hastened away, and came unto the place where I was sitting with ancient Rachel. Beatrice, said she, the true praise of God, why supportest thou not him who loveth thee so? For thee he issued from the vulgar herd. Dost thou not hear the pity of his plaint? Dost thou not see the death that combats him, beside that flood their ocean has involved? Met more persons in the world so swift to work their wheel and see their low, as I after said words to see for uttered, came hither downward from my blessed seat, confining in the dignified discourse, which honors thee and those who listen to it. After she thus had spoken unto me, weeping her shining eyes, she turned away whereby she made me swifter in my coming, and unsaid me that came she desired I have ability of the wild beasts, which are the whole mountains for that sin. What is it then? Why dost thou delay? Why is suspicion set in thy heart? Daring the hardy good, why hast thou not? Seeing that these such ladies that night are caring for thee before the heaven, and so much for my speech shall promise thee. Even as the prophets of an eternal shield have now enclosed from the sun risings that hold themselves all open on them stems. Such I became my exhausted strength, and such great courage to my heart. Therefore, that I began on an interpret person, of which you compassionate to support me, and quotest thou, as though made so soon, the words of truth which she rested thee, thou hast a heart so with desire disposed, that adventure with these words of thine to my person, and I have returned, and over one soul, will it is in both of us, thou leader, and thou Lord, and thou master, thou. Thus said I to him, and when she had moved, I entered on the deep and savage way. Dante's Inferno, Divine Comedy, Dante, Dante's Inferno came to agree the gate of hell, to the efficient or indifferent, but set aside by the shores of Ekron, Charon, the earthquake and the swoon. Through me the way is the city Poland. Through me the way is the eternal fall. Through me the way among the people lost. The justice inside my sublime creator, create me divine omnipotence, with the highest wisdom and divine love. Before me there were no created things, only eternity, and I eternal last. All hope abandon ye who entered in. These words in somber color I beheld, risen upon the stomach's gate. Once I, the senses master heart to me, and be to me as one experienced. Here all suspicion needs must be abandoned, all cowardice must needs be here extinct. We to the place have come where I have told thee, that thou shalt behold the people, Dolores, who have foregone the good of intellect. And after he had laid his hand on mine, which was on me, whence I was comforted, he led me along the secret things. Their sighs, complaints, and oleations loud resounded through the air without a star, whence I beginning left thereat. Languages of verse and horrible dialects, accents of anger, words of agony, and voices high of words of sound of hands, they got the tumult, and that goes whirling on forever in that air forever black, even as the sand doth, when the whirlwinds wreaths, and I, who had my head with horror bound, said, Master, what is this which I now hear? What fault is this which it seems like pain so vanquished? And he to me, the miserable low, announcing the melancholy souls of those who live and help me for praise. Coming more are they with the choir of angels who have not rebellious been, nor faithful word to God, my word myself. The heavens expelled them, not to be less fair, not to them but evermore of this proceeds. For glory none the damned would have from them, and I, O Master, whatso grievousness of these make them lament so sore. He answered, I will tell thee very briefly, these have no longer any hope of death, and this blind life of theirs is so debased that they enemies are of every other fate. No fame of them the world permits to be, misery abhorred, and justice of to same them. Let us not speak of them of what can pass. And I, who looked again, beheld the banner which rolled around ran so rapidly that all were paused, it seems me indignant. And after it, there came so long a train of people down in the air would have believed that ever death so many have undone. When some among them I had recognized, I looked, and I beheld the shade of him, who made through cowardice the great refusal. Forthwith I comprehended, and was certain that this was the sight was vacated, which is hateful to God and to his enemies. These miscreants who never were alive, were naked, and were sown exceedingly like gadflies and by hornets that were there. These their faces irrigated with blood, which with the tears coming at their feet by the disgusting worms was gathering up. And when gazing by their eyes with me, people I saw like great rivers bank, and said I, Master, now thou stand to me, that I may know who these are, and what law makes them appear so ready to pass over. As I discern afterward the dusky light, and to me these things shall all be known to thee as soon as we office that stay upon the dismal shore of Acarion. Then with mine eyes ashamed and downward cast, hearing my words, my efforts so me to him from speech refrain, I till we reached the river, and lo, four such coming in a boat, all man hoary, with the hair of Elwood, crying, Woe to you, ye souls, ye brave, good nevermore till look upon the heavens, I come to lead you to the other shore, to the eternal shades, and heathen cross, and that I can understand his living soul, to draw thee from these people who are dead, when he saw I did not withdraw. He said, by other ways, by other courts, thou shalt come, not here, for passage, of my vessel needs must carry thee, and unto him we guide thy sleep, not Charon. It is no will that there is power to do that which is will, and Father question not. Thereafter, rise in the fleecy cheeks of him with their man, the him, who ran without his eyes and wheels of flame, and all those souls who were weary and naked, this public change and gnash their teeth together, as soon as they had heard those cruel words. God, they blaspheme and never gentleness, the human race, the place, the time, the seed of their engendering and of their birth, then after all together, they drew back, bitterly weeping to the cursed shore, which waits at every man who fears not God. Charon, the demon with eyes of lead, beckoning to them, collects them all together, the beast of his whole whoever rides behind. As in the autumn time, the leaves fall off, there's one and another till the rains and the surrenders all its soils. And in similar wise, the evil seed of Adam throw themselves from margin one by one, as sickles as burdens its lair. So they depart across the dusty way, and bear upon the other side, and land. Again on this side, a new troop assembles, and my son, and for his master says to me, all those who perish in the wrath of God, here meet together out of every land. And ready are they to pass over the river, because celestial justice spurs them on, so that their fear is turned into desire. The way there never passes a good soul, and hence Charon doth complain of me. Well, mayest thou know now what is the speech imports. This being finished, all the dusk of champagne tremble so violently that of the terror the recollection brings me still with sweat. The land of tears gave forth a blast of wind, and all the days of vermilion light which were mastered in me every sense, and as a man whom sleep hath seized I fell.